All right, so far we have done set this up. We got Hyper-V on here. We should have a hard drive, and we should have our virtual memory and our own personal account to log into these, right? So let me make sure my phone is quiet because it wants to interrupt. There we go. So I'm going to go to my Hyper-V real quick. And let's see what we need to actually do and install. There's some things we're going to have to go grab. So I'm just going to go through the basic process. So I'm going to go new virtual machine. There's another way we can do this with quick create. I don't think I want to do it that way. It'll take forever. So when it first opens up, we're going to have, before you begin, this wizard helps you create a virtual machine. You can use virtual machines in place of physical computers for a variety of uses. You can use this wizard to configure the virtual machine now, and you can change the configuration later using Hyper-V Manager. To create a virtual machine, do one of the following. Click Finish to create a virtual machine that is configured with default values. We did that earlier, right? Click Next to create a virtual machine with a custom configuration. So we're going to do custom, much like we did with VMware. So I'm just going to call this one Parent. And I'm probably spelling it wrong. Is it 2 R's or 1 R in Parent? 1 R? Okay. 1 pirate, not 2. Got it. I will go next. So you can see right here, we changed our location earlier to store it on the V drive. So we can see right there, that is where it's doing it. We're going to do Generation 2. Generation 2, this virtual machine generation provides support for newer virtualization features, has UEFI-based firmware, and requires a supported 64-bit guest operating system. Generation 2 will cause you problems with Windows 10. So we will do Generation 2. Here we got to pick the minimum memory. So the minimum for Windows 10 is actually 2 gigs. But if you're building a system for someone, 4 gig is what you really want to put. But textbook, 2 gigs of RAM. So who wants to tell me what's 4 gigs of RAM? 4 times that number in front of me. Who wants to put it up there? Yes, 4096. The magic numbers, they come to play. Now, dynamic memory. Dynamic memory means it'll fluctuate up and down what memory it's allocating for the virtual machine. So virtual memory tends to give us, it's going to hand out more memory than your computer actually has to hand out, and it can crash your system. So if you look up here, specify the amount of memory to allocate to this virtual machine, you can specify amounts from 32 megabytes through this big ass number right here. It will give this big ass number right here in RAM, even if you don't have it. Especially if you have SCCM likes to take half whatever RAM it thinks it has available. So if it thinks it has half of that available, you're going to be in trouble. So I will show you where we change that. That's one thing. Later on, I'll talk about the checklist. So I'm just going to hit Next for now, and I'll leave it on dynamic. And we don't need to activate the one we're doing right now. The one we're doing right now, we are creating a parent image. This will make it easier for us to deploy 2 machines later. So I'm just going to hit Next. I don't want a connection on this one. All future ones, we will want to have a connection on it, but not this one. So I'm going to hit Next. So I'm going to let this say parent, and I'm just going to make this one 48. 48 is about what our other one gave us, so I'll give this one 48 gig for this. Minimum we need is 32 just to install the operating system, but you're doing more than doing an operating system, right? So I'm just going to give it 48 so it has a little bit room for updates and stuff, and I'm going to let that go right there. Again, this is saving V users, public documents, Hyper-V, virtual disks. Remember, if you mess up and you try to delete it here, it will still have the virtual hard disk sitting in that location. So if you want to name it the same thing, and because you think you messed up and doesn't let you name it, it's because you forgot to delete that hard disk right there. So I'm going to hit Next for now. Next time we do this, we're going to be using attach a virtual hard disk later. But that's why we're creating a parent. And I will show you that in a little bit once we get there. So I want to install an operating system from a bootable image file. Where do I get a bootable image file from? This is where we're going to run in. I need something to actually install off of, right? So we're going to go get this from the internet. So where you get the evaluations are going to be from the Windows Evaluation Center. So I'm just going to type Windows Eval, and it's going to pop up right there, Evaluation Center. And I'm going to go to Windows 10 Enterprise right here. Now we have two flavors. We have Enterprise and we have Long-Term Service Channel. Long-Term Service Channel is about to be expired. It's about to be the 20 H22 or something coming up for that. So we're going to do just regular Enterprise, the top one. And here you can fill in your information. It doesn't actually have to be your real information. So I tend to just go we got to do this like a movie, right? There we go. And they don't care. And I hit continue. And from here, I want to pick 64-bit. And then your language, English. You in Great Britain English? No, English. Then when I click download, it should start downloading. There we go. And I can put this where you guys can get it on the network too. So we have about 7 minutes for that, 7-8 minutes for that to come downstream. So we need that because we need something to install off of. Now we could have went to Yvonne's and grabbed it off of Yvonne's computer, but I want you guys to go through the process so you know how to get this on your time. So when you're at home and you might want to build this lab, or maybe you just want to install an eval on a junk computer you have laying around and want to do some practice and you don't want to ruin your home computer. This is a good way to get that. Another way that we could have done this is we could have gone to Quick Create. And Quick Create's going to have some pre-made ones. It's still going to go and download them for you. So it has the MSIX package and tool environment. It has the Windows 10 dev environment, which has all the tools that devs need. And you'll notice also has Ubuntu Linux in here. I wonder why they have Linux. Probably because Microsoft is kind of hush-hush on buying Linux. The Ubuntu, which is pretty much Ubuntu is freeware. So, but they have 2004, 1910, and 1804. 1804 long-term service. So they have a new one coming up soon. So if you, Windows also has Linux actually built into its subsystem too. So on that whole thing where we turned on HyperV, if I go TUR, and I'm just doing this while I'm waiting for that to download. So if we go all the way to the bottom of turning Windows features on or off, we have a Windows subsystem for Linux. So you see where things are starting to head, right? So once you install the Windows subsystem for Linux, you can actually have Ubuntu, you can have Kali Linux running on Windows in it. So, and Sandbox is also a good one. We'll cover that later and more advanced stuff once you guys get done with the fundamental stuff. Sandbox is good if you like go to websites and stuff, or you want to try installing stuff that might have a virus. Use a Sandbox because once that's gone, everything's deleted off of it. So it's only there when you're using it. It's a virtual environment of Windows 10. So there's all kinds of fun things sitting in here that we can play with later. So it looks like hopefully no one else is trying to download stuff with me right now. And that's the same one that we just did, right? 19042. That's the one that we installed on our computer here. So what else could I do besides doing this? I probably still have that ISO mounted in my computer, right? So if I went down to here and to this PC, I still have it right here. It's still mounted right here. Now, the drawback of using the Generation 2 is they don't let you use physical disks. And that'll be considered a physical disk. I think my thing's hiding behind. So you see right here, it says media, ISO. It only lets you pick an ISO. Now, if I did do a Gen 1, it would actually let me use that other disk. But we're okay. We can wait a few minutes for this to download, go through the whole process once, and then we'll put an easy place for you guys to get this later. So the whole point of me doing a parent image is we're going to create an installation that's already done pre-installed, it's gone through everything, and it's just going to be left at the out-of-box experience. The out-of-box experience is where you guys went through and you chose, you know, your keyboard layout. You picked administrator for the username. You picked a password. But we're going to skip that whole first process by doing this. It's going to take us a little extra time to do this in the beginning to save us a lot of time later. And it's also going to save us the 20-some gig that it takes to install this on the parent image. Because the only thing that's going to be on our other 2 machines that we're going to create off of this parent image is going to build on top of the other one. So this is a good space saver for your hard drive where all the pre-installed stuff is only taken up one time. So the first time, we got our parent image and then one machine. Now we're kind of breaking even with storage space. But then when we make our second machine, third machine, fourth machine, each time we are doing that, we're saving 20-some gig of hard disk space. So this is a very good method to learn how to do this, especially when you go out in the field to save space on your servers. You create a master image that's already as up to date as possible, and you create a parent image of that, and then you base everything off that. Now, you don't want anything to happen to that master image that you created or the parent image, so we want to make sure that it's read only so that no one can accidentally click on it, rename it, open it, and break it. So that's what we're going to do here. So, and we can also do this on the VMware side, but since this is a Windows class, we need to make sure we know the Windows stuff. So we're got about 4 minutes left on our ticker, so hopefully you guys are down in some coffee. Have any of you done this before with the parent image or messed around with HyperV before? Nope. Okay. This will be fun. You don't just have to do Windows in this too. We can do the different versions of Linux, all kinds of fun stuff. Those of you who play like Minecraft, you can go to Minecraft server in one. I tried to play it with a student wanted me to play it, and then he stopped playing it after I started. I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm playing that Vikings game right now. Yep, that game. That game is fun. Especially if you discover the cheat codes and you use the cheat sword. It's like a lightsaber, it cuts through everything. I just made a will just to play around and run around with that and chop down trees. It was, you know, anger management. We got about 3 minutes left for this, and then we can tell that that's the image we want to use. Yeah, that giant kicked my butt the first time I ran into it. I was getting my butt kicked trying to tame the pigs, the boar. Trying to get them into a pen. Keep on getting stuck. They kind of made it like EverQuest, where if you die, you lose all your gear. And you lose experience too. Corpse are on. Yeah, I went into playing it without doing any research. I just, you know, going in with nothing. Yeah. When I went into one of the caves, yep, that wasn't fun trying to get my gear out of there. The skeletons owned me. I was getting good at taking out the deer from a long distance away though with the bow. 1 minute. 1 minute. And And I will fast forward this again when I post it up there, but since this is our last day, I just wanted to do something simple. Then we'll use this parent image to build our future machines off of it. It looks like this is 20H2. So 11 seconds, 10, 9. All right, that's done. So now I should be able to go browse. And I'm going to go to not documents, downloads, and it's right there in my downloads. I'm just going to open it. Now I have something to actually install off of. This is just confirming. All right, I named it Parent Generation 2. I got 4 gigs of RAM. I'm not connected to the internet. My hard disk is on the V drive in this location right here. And operating system that will be installed is the one in my downloads, the ISO that I picked. I'm going to hit finish. There's a lot of this stuff's very similar to what we did on VMware. I will close this for now because I don't need it anymore. All right. So when you're doing these in Hyper-V, it's best to connect first and then start, and then cross your fingers and hope to God that you get to see that hit any button before it passes on to trying to network boot. So I'm going to hit start and click inside of it, and then hopefully I catch it. There it is right there. And I got lucky. Usually you'll miss it on the first try. Then you have to go up to action and go, reset and try it again. So I'm not seeing the little spinny thing, so I'm a little bit concerned. We'll see. All right, now I see some processor activity right there. There we go. So some things to note about the Hyper-V is you can see some stuff in there without logging into it. So we can see processor activity, and we can see how much RAM it's using. So I did forget to change one thing on here. So I will show you that shortly. So here's the memory. And if it does have network, it'll tell you your network connection and the IP address and everything right here. So you don't have to go in there and do IP config and stuff if you just want to quick check it right here. So we'll minimize that for now. So one thing that I did forget to do is we want to go in here and we want to change this memory. I can't do it when it's running, but you'll see, well, maybe it will let me. I'll try. I don't think it'll let me do it though. But I want to make this maximum memory. See how big that number is? We don't have that much memory. So we want it to just be 40. And I don't think this will let me change it when it's running. So I'll just try. I'll hit apply. Nope, it won't. So we have to shut it down to that. So we'll make that change. Just note that we need to make that change later, okay? So I'm just going to X out of that. And I'm just going to let this go through. Because if it does try to give out all that memory, it's going to crash your host computer because it won't have any memory left for your host. So you want to make sure it doesn't do that. So I'm just going to go through the install process. We've all done this one time so far, right, guys and gals? But we're going to do something different after the initial setup. We're going to go into what's called audit mode. Audit mode lets us to pre-stage stuff, pre-install software, and have things ready to go. We can do updates, and then we can repackage. We're going to use a thing called system prep, and we're going to system prep it and generalize it so it doesn't have a system identifier on it, so we can put it on other computers. So this is the way we're just customizing the image of the installation. And again, I don't want to hear people ask about, do I do upgrade or custom? Because upgrade doesn't do anything. So here we go. And another hurry up and wait place, right? Thank you guys for putting up with me. Probably the tone of my voice probably doesn't sound like I'm very happy right now. I'm just hurting right now. I feel like someone's got a voodoo doll and they're having fun with me. Oh. Haha. So right here is out of box experience. Here's where we're all going to hit Control, Shift, F3. If you're on a keyboard, you have to use a function key. Holy crud. What's the new DC movie? How do I not know about this? Oh. All right. This is what I was waiting for. I'm just gonna make one change. I'm gonna change the time zone once it lets me. Hey you, hey you, hey you. Really? I broke it. It's official. All right. So I'm just gonna flip this over to Central Time Zone, and then I'm gonna generalize and shut down. Never do the reboot. Reboot will blow away your generalize. And we've done all this process just to click that button right there, that checkbox right there, right there. Hey computer, I clicked on you. I know I did. You slow. Come here. I will suggest you give yours 2 processors on our server. For some reason it's running goofy today. So I'm gonna slow this down, go down to Central. Why am I blind? There's America, US. Now that should be right, and hopefully it saves it when we do this. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this generalize button here because we're getting rid of the system identifier, so we can use this to deploy other images. So we're gonna go shut down because reboot will blow that away. So if you click that, that should by default make that shut down. But you know, they didn't eat the right piece of pie, if you get my joke there. So stuff that we could do right here is we could run system updates. We can have this image completely up to date. We could pre-install software like you guys did night. So we can have OpenOffice pre-made on here. What we're trying to balance is where is it going to save us the most time? If I'm doing like one computer at a time, it's probably best for me to have the image up to date. If I'm doing 1,000 computers at a time, it's probably best to let the network manage everything like that. You'll make one good image that's at least up to date, and then let the network push it out with WDS. But we'll cover WDS in the server class. Well, we're making a parent hard drive. So we're gonna use a child-parent relationship with the hard drive. So now that that's done, oh my God, let's not accidentally blow that away. So let's not accidentally turn that on. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on here and I'm gonna go right click and I'm going to go delete. 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 Bye-bye. Ta-ta. See you. Nice to know you. Then I'm going to go over to edit disk. I'm not going to actually edit it. I'm just using this to get to it quickly. And it's sitting right there. And give me a second, because you see right here is consolidating this checkpoint with it. So this checkpoint is being added to that. So I need to wait for this to finish. So once it's done consolidating, I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to properties. I'm going to make this read only. I'm so used to having solid state hard drives that this is driving me nuts right now. Hey, it is St. Patrick's Day. Driving me nuts. Hey, let's get Yvonne to say, where's me gold, Lily? Where's me gold? I've only got him to do it one time. Okay, so that's consolidated. You can see it's all on one. You feel ignored? What do you say? What do you say? You did get ignored. I don't see you saying anything. What do you say? Oh, you're talking on the mic. I don't have my headset on. One sec. All right, now I have my headset on. Go. Oh, rude. Fire. So Richard's in here too? Hey. All right, so I'm going to right click on this and we're going to go properties and we're just going to make sure this is read only. Read only. That way we don't accidentally double click it and open it and break it, because if you open that, you break it. So I'm going to apply and okay. Applied science. So from here, everything is easy. So now I can create a new one. I'm just going to go virtual machine. It's going to take forever again. And I'm going to go next. And I'm just going to call this win1. Next. Generation 2. Next. We'll do the 4096 again. All right, 4096. fnumberlock.com. Want a t-shirt? I'll sell it to you. Come on. There we go. And this time we do want internet on it. So I'm not sure if that one does have it. Let me double check. So over here's where our virtual switches are. So default switch says default network, which does say it does have internet. No, it says internal. So that's not going to have internet. So I need to create a new virtual switch right here. Create external, and I'll just name it external. So external, this allows this to use our internet and it'll just give this internet so it can activate the licenses on this. So I'll hit apply on that. Yes, I'm cool with it. Now I might have to back out of this one and close it because it won't automatically refresh it. So what that said is that I might lose my internet connectivity with it doing that because it needs it to connect. So let me come over here. It's probably not going to be in this list. Nope. If I go back and next, it probably still won't be. So I'm going to probably have to just start over. Nope. All right. So I'll just X out of that and try it again. No biggie. win1. Next. Generation 2. I know. I'm going fast. Where I'm going to use dynamic memory for now. I'm going to hit next. Not connected. So now I should have my external virtual switch. External means that we actually can use the external network. It's acting like a router. So I'm going to hit next. And here is where we're going to do something different. We're using this last one, attach a virtual hard disk later. Very last one right there. So remember that. When we're using a parent image, we're making a child on this one. So we're going to go next and then finish. We don't have to pick an install media because we're using the parent image. So I'm going to right click on this and go to settings. And then I'm going to come down to, well, first let me change this. I'm going to change the processor to 2. I'm going to apply my hardware. When stuff's blue, it means it hasn't been done yet. So hit apply and that'll do it. On the memory, we need to fix the maximum memory. So we're just going to do 4096. We're just going to use our startup memory for our maximum memory. That's going to be what we do for our courses here, just to keep it simple, stupid. All right, I'm going to hit apply there. And now I want to add a hard drive. So on HyperV, hard drives are done through our SCSI controller right here. So we click on the SCSI controller and see the hard drive. I'm going to say add hard drive. And then right here, that box should be checked. And I'm just going to say new. Now, if you're working on people's personal computers and you want to work on their hard drives, you can actually mount their physical hard drive right here and boot off their hard drive and do virus scans and do what you want with it. So you are capable of mounting a real hard drive to these systems and these virtual machines. In our case, we're not. We're going to do a virtual hard disk. So I'm going to go new. And this is going to bring us to the new virtual hard disk wizard. I'm just going to say, don't show this again. And next, we know we're creating a virtual hard disk. I don't think we need an explanation for that. We have three options. We have fixed size, which means it's going to take up all the storage that you tell it that it's going to take up. Dynamic expands as you fill it up, kind of like a water balloon. And difference in means we're going to use a child-parent relationship. So see, this type of disk is associated in a parent-child relationship with another disk that you want to leave intact. You can make changes to the data or operating systems without affecting the parent disk so that you can revert the changes easily. All children must have the same virtual hard disk format as the parent. So it'll automatically do that for us. But that's why we're doing that, because we don't want to change the main one, and it's going to save us storage anything past the first machine we create. So I'm going to go next, and I'm going to call this win1. So you don't actually have to, you can just hit delete. It'll automatically put the file extension in there. So I'm just going to call this win1 so I know it goes to the win1 system. I'm going to hit next, and now I need to pick the parent. So the second option is picking the parent. The first one is naming the virtual hard disk. So I'm just going to hit browse, and it should be right there. See, I have the parent image with one R, because you guys corrected me. And then I'm going to hit next and finish. So at this point, I have the virtual hard disk, but I haven't applied it yet. I have to hit apply for it to actually make all these changes. So when I hit apply, now it's applied. But because I didn't have a hard drive, it thinks it's going to boot off the network first. So if I come up to firmware, boot entry, I want to move network adapter below hard drive. Hard drive, I want to do the first one it looks at to boot the operating system. Once I've done this, these are all the changes I should need to make, and I should be good to go. Something you might want to do while you're in here, let's see. I don't see the enhanced session yet, so we'll check that later after we do this. So I'm going to hit apply and then OK. So now when I turn this on, I should be right at out-of-box experience. It should be ready to go to start setting up. So I can go start right here. And while that's going, I could come over here and I can start my other one. I wish this had a clone feature where you can just click and clone something like VMware does, but this does not provide that feature. So while I'm waiting for that, I'll make win2. I know I didn't capitalize the other one. It's not going to be a big deal. Generation 2. Next. 4096. It always pops off number lock every time. 4096. Next. Again, the external network is so it activates, so it doesn't say expired license on the bottom right-hand corner. I'm going to go next, and I don't need to worry about that. I'm attaching a hard disk later, and then finish. So I'm just getting this one ready as that one's starting up for the first time. See, it says getting ready. So now I can go in the settings and do the exact same thing I just did. So I'll go to my processor, make it 2, hit apply, memory. Let's see if yep, it's working. 4096, apply, SCSI controller, add, new, difference in, next, win2, browse, and I'm using the same parent one, not win1, parent one. Next, finish. And then I'll hit apply. If I don't hit apply, it won't be an option up here. See, it only says network. So I need to make sure I hit apply and then go up there and it'll be an option. So I move that one down, hit apply, and I should be good to go on that one too. I can go connect, power it on. I can minimize this for now. And now we just saved a whole bunch of time, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what's going on here. So this one's being created right now, and this one's being created right now, but we've saved this 10 gig, almost 11 gig right here. So the first time, we didn't really save it because it's for this one. This would have been one machine. But now that we've got a second machine, now we've saved 10 gig. So we do a third one, We've saved enough. Now we're at 20, 30, 40, 50 gig we've saved. Remember, on servers, we can have hundreds of operating systems running. It's just a matter of if the hardware can handle it or not. So this right here is a good way to save space on your hard drives when you have to do lots of virtual machines. And in our case, we have to do lots because each one of you have your host computer, you have 2 virtual machines. Later on, you'll have even more when we do the server class. But look at how fast these are going now. And you can see these building right here. Does this help you understand why I'm doing this? How this will help you in the long run? I thought you guys were drinking coffee. Awesome. So I got Richard and Lily and then no and then. So I'm just gonna let these finish up. Yes, Rich. Who is it? Oh, I'm just crazy. I don't know. But you're the one hearing the voices. Maybe you're hearing my voices. Maybe I passed them on. What about Lily? You hearing voices? It's okay. We can all be in the YouTube video. They never left. They took 4 rights. So from here, we're just going to do, admin, server. We'll just do the admin with no password, and then we'll set the password as server 123 later. And that will be the end of what we're doing today. So as this takes up half of our course hours for the day, I apologize for that. But I will let these finish so that at least they're finished in the video. So I hope everyone's having a good time watching me just a moment and load and stuff. Yay! Fun part, fun part, fun part. Damn it, my mouse is stuck. All right, why are you... Seriously? All right, there we go. It didn't know which one it wanted to be in. So yes, United States. Let's see if we get any OOB error messages. Oh, guys, let's see what happens here. Yes. Skip another. No, this is going pretty fast. This is... I've seen this worse. I've seen this much worse at this point. Yeah. Now we have some important updates. Just a moment, please. Now let's see what's new from Windows. Please don't. Just give me my... At least give me a desktop so I feel like I've accomplished something. All right. Yes, I agree. I don't even care what it says at this point. This one's about ready over here. Yeah. All right. Remember, we're not doing up here. We're doing domain join instead. Right there. There's that error message I was looking for. That's a RAM thing. All right. How about you just stop saying just a moment? All right. Let's try it again. Round 2, fight. There we go. That's normal. If it happens, just try again. That even happened on the real computers in the classroom, so. Admin. No password. Remember, if we do a password, we have to answer 3 questions, and I don't answer questions. Oh, crap. I'm an instructor. I have to do that. Never mind. Okay. Well, I don't answer Microsoft questions. I'm gonna turn all this off. Actually, no, Lily and Richard can answer questions. Yes. Yes, my pretty. Or my precious. No, no Cortana. No, stay dead. And Lily likes snakes. Do you like water moccasins? I know where there's 2 massive water moccasins right now. They're inside Eldon's well. Massive. They look like boa constrictors. I'm gonna let this desktop up before I click over here. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's try my luck. Let's see if we can show you some error messages. Do you watch that guy in Australia who does the Audiofill videos, Lily? He always has his snake at the end of the video. The audiophile guy. Actually, this one's running kind of smooth too, but I think last time we got OOB at network also, so let's see what happens. He's funny. I like his 3 grit, the rock he smashes the iPods apart with. Sean just wants to get this video over with so the students can go ahead and do it. Go ahead. That's the most least reassuring thing I've ever seen. Leave everything to us. All right, so this right here, this means the enhanced view is turned on. Enhanced session, I'm just gonna hit X for now, but that'll let you resize the size of this. I'm pretty happy with my size right now. So I'm just gonna finish win2, domain join instead. Admin, next. No password. So when I do want a password, I can hit this Control-Alt-Delete right here and go to change password right there. And again, we're all going to use, if I typed it right, server123 exclamation point. All right, good to go. Awesome. Next, send it. Now we can't pre-do all this stuff because this stuff was all system identifier stuff. So remember when you guys created your own account, it actually showed you all this stuff all over again because it was all based on your system and your user account and the system identifier stuff. So password has been changed. I feel so special. And it kept my time. See, my time. I didn't have to change my time after doing it that way. So that's one thing I don't have to check. Yay. And I'm activated. That means I'm good to go. So, no Cortana. No. No. And once you have both of these, and that's good to go, and that's good to go, I think that's a good place to leave this for the day. So I will properly shut this down. When I say shut down, I mean shut down right here. Not up here. Not this. Never up here. Unless it's an emergency. Right here. Shut down. And then I'm going to make a checkpoint. Yep. Only if it's frozen. So at this point, I'm going to come right here. I'm going to go to action. And I'm going to go checkpoint. Yvonne's favorite word is right there. Yvonne's favorite word is that right there. And I'm going to call this clean install. So if we break something later, we know we can at least revert back to this point. So I'm going to say yes. And now I can always revert back to that. So now I'm just waiting for win2 to finish. Now if I come over here to my manager, you'll see there's checkpoints on win1. Clean install. And then now. So we can always fall back to our clean install, so we don't have to go through that all over again if we break something. So just think of these right here. All this would be like the panels on the front of your computer, right? And this is like a KVM. This is your keyboard, video, mouse. So I'm going to hit connect this time on this one. Do I want to do that? Yeah. I'm going to hit connect this time, and it's going to kick me out of it. And this is actually going to do a remote desktop connection to it. But this is the... See how it's an actual bigger screen this time? So this is kind of like when we installed the drivers on VMware and it allowed us to adjust our screen size. That's pretty much what that's going to do for this. Unless I just crashed it. So see how it adjusts the sizes and everything in there? So I know my time's good. I'm activated. That's what I'm caring about right now. I know this is good to go. So same thing on this one. I'm just going to shut it down. So this is ready for us to use it in our next course tomorrow. So I am going to shut this down properly also. When I shut it down, this is all just going to get minimized on me anyway in the little black box. And same thing as before. I'm going to wait for it to turn off. So we always do our checkpoints when the machine's turned off. So that's the one way to make your checkpoints take up less space. It's also one of your questions when you go take your certification. It's how do you reduce the size of a checkpoint? It's to make your checkpoint when the machine's off. So it's not trying to save the state of your processor, your RAM, the state of your hard drive at that exact moment in time. So it makes it a lot easier and quicker to do a checkpoint. You can do them when it's running, but it's going to be a lot more storage, a lot more space is going to get sucked up. So I'm going to go checkpoint, and I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully that's what I wrote on the other one. Close enough, right? Yeah, clean install. But I did a capital I over there. Oh, man. All right. I know some of you are OCD. There we go. So now I have a checkpoint on Windows too. And that makes me good to go. So that is the conclusion of us setting up our first virtual machines in Hyper-V and doing a parent image. So hopefully y'all got that, and hopefully y'all ain't confused. And I'm going to upload this for you right now.